There are basically two types of integration: definite integral and indefinite integral. Definite integral is when you have the integration with two numbers known as the limits of the integration. Indefinite integral, on the other hand, does not have any limit, so it is just integration. The word integral means you have integrated it already. So if you integrate something, whatever result you get is known as the integral. And when we differentiate something, the result that we get is called a derivative. So the definite integrals, the basic rules are, when you integrate a variable a x to the power n dx, so the a is the constant, it will be as it is, so x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So this is the integral. But since the integral is indefinite integral, meaning integration without the limits, the two numbers here, so we have to write a plus constant sign, plus c, sometimes written as plus k. So when you integrate something like only a dx, you get ax, and we have the plus c constant for indefinite integral. So this is what happens in indefinite integrals. Now, why do we have to write down the plus c? Well, it has to do with the fundamental rule of calculus. Remember, the fundamental rule of calculus states that integration is the opposite of differentiation. So when we differentiate something, for example, d by dx of x squared plus 1, the derivative is twice x. The plus 1 is not going to be here because when you differentiate a constant, it becomes 0. Now, if we take this as an integration, meaning the opposite of differentiation, we're supposed to get the original value. So when we integrate twice x dx, the 2 is the constant, it will be here, and x will be x squared by 2. Now, this 2 and this 2 cancels, and the result is x squared. Notice the original thing that we differentiated, the original expression, that was x squared plus 1. But since the derivative, the plus 1 disappeared, we could not retrieve it. So we have to write a plus c, meaning that there was an original constant. Let me show you another example. Suppose you have d by dx of x squared plus 10. This would also be twice x. So again, if we integrate this, the result would be exactly the same. Integration of twice x dx, we get 2 x squared by 2, and this 2 cancels. We have to write plus c because this time we again get x squared, but this one was x squared plus 10, and the previous one was x squared plus 1. So that means whenever you have to differentiate and there is some sort of a constant, you have to remember while integrating it by the fundamental rule of calculus, we have to write down the plus c, otherwise the plus c completely disappears. So by that rule, we have to remember the opposites. So these are some of the opposites. So when we differentiate y, we get dy by dx. So by that rule, when we integrate dy by dx, we get y, because this dx and dx cancels off and integration of dy is y. So the derivative of y is dy by dx, and the derivative of integration of dy by dx, we get y. Similarly, when we differentiate fx, d by dx of fx, we get f prime x. Remember, this is prime, not inverse. We get f prime x. So when we integrate f prime x, so the integral would be fx. Now in both the cases, remember, in this case and this case, since it is indefinite integral, integration without the limit, we have to write a plus c constant. So now let us go back and correct all the indefinite integrals that we have done before. So this one would be plus c. This one will also have a plus c. This one will have plus c. Then we'll have a plus c over here, plus c. Then this one will also have a plus c, and this one also will have plus c.